quite some time since I last got up and photographed the sunrise. So this morning when I awoke at 4 AM, I thought there's no time like the present. I don't know if you can hear that, but the sound of geese taking off. There's a nature reserve over there. It's so loud. Can't see them, but my gosh, the sound is incredible. Well, the sunrise itself doesn't look like it's going to materialise into much, but with these beautiful pools of water and some very subtle colours in the clouds, I think we can definitely make something out of this. I think we can. There's always opportunities. It's been quite a long time since I last did your more traditional seascape photography, but I haven't been looking back at some of my old images in recent weeks from way back at the start of my journey, and when coastal photography was predominantly my main source of creative inspiration. It's inspired me to come out and to do a little bit more of that again. But I suspect there may be something creative thrown in there at some point and some up close stuff as well. But we'll see what unfolds. Keen to photograph mirrored reflections, I decided to start with the largest pool of water. As I got closer, I could see this angle wasn't the best. With the bright clouds reflecting on the surface, this would distract the eye from the calming, serene scene. So I walked along the front of the beach huts to an area where the light was more even. This was the perfect spot for the photography to begin. I recently restarted my Ko-fi page. I have been truly touched by the response. Thank you so much to everyone who has visited. All donations made in September will go towards buying a quality down jacket to keep me warm this winter. I look forward to sharing which one I choose in an upcoming video. Oh, the light is getting good now. I decided to use a polarising filter. With my working area between 90 to 180 degrees from the sun, this was the optimum direction for maximum polarisation. However, I knew I needed a balance. No polarisation and the scene was bright, with little colour, and too much polarisation and the reflections would disappear. So I experimented with different intensities until these photos were made. I'm really enjoying some of these clouds that we've got this morning, especially these ones that are going across the sky diagonally, almost creating like an arrow shape towards the horizon. And how they're reflecting on the water is enabling the opportunity for these beautiful mirrored images, which give this real peaceful, calming, relaxing feel, which is exactly how I'm feeling this morning. Apart from one lady running across the beach, I've had it completely to myself. It's so, so beautiful. Something that I'm getting more interested in as I progress forward in my photography is infusing the feelings that I'm feeling when I'm out into nature into my imagery. So this morning, this opportunity here to photograph this, to give that calming, peaceful feel, is really in tune with how I, the photographer, is feeling. The one issue I'm having is I would really like my wide-angle lens. The biggest, widest one I've got with me today is my 24 to 70 millimeter. And in order to get these lines of clouds in the frame really nicely, I'd have to come further back, which means I'd be getting all of these pebbles in the frame, which would distract the eye from the calming, tranquil feel. So I've done what I can with my main camera, but something else I've done is photograph this scene with my DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I've never used it for photography before, so I'm quite interested to see how the images look when I get home on the computer. But it's enabling that wide-angle effect so that I can have more of a letterbox style image with this beautiful reflections. We often want to get the best quality image we can with the camera that we have, but if we have another camera with us, like the DJI Pocket 3, or even our mobile phones that can do something that the equipment we currently have with us cannot, there's no harm in using it.
I tried composing a couple of images with some of the other pools, but they didn't quite look right. As the sun started to poke through the clouds, I knew I had to change tack.
Pleasing compositions are not coming. Oh, look at the sun! Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Look at this. The day has broken. So what I think I'm going to do is head to the other side of the beach, which is home to the river estuary. And potentially with some of the boats and inlets and that there might be more opportunities for some pleasing compositions.
Did you see the lady walk by as I was talking? Well, as I headed towards the bay, I looked back and saw her silhouetted against the sunlight. This was the perfect image opportunity. I swapped my 24 to 70 millimeter lens for my 100 to 400, and this was where the magic truly began to unfold. The light got better and better, and with every image created, the story also strengthens.
Wow, this is so cool.
I was in awe, to say the least, and made a photo of the beach huts as a memento too. Then I turned my focus back to the lady. Realising she was going for a swim, this was the moment when the images shone even brighter.
That was cool.
To say I was happy was an understatement. These brief moments of light are what landscape photographers dream of. As I gathered my gear and headed to the bay, I knew it was time to share what I wanted to share all morning: how nature photography can help us to regulate our emotions.
A couple of days ago, I met a lady through a volunteer day for a charity that I work for, and we were gardening and talking about our connection with nature. And it was really interesting because very quickly in the conversation we realised that how we connect with nature is very, very similar. The only difference is our medium to doing so. For me, it's photography and video. For her, it's storytelling and music. And it really fascinated me because what she specialises in is working with children who are neurodivergent and getting them out into nature to help with emotional regulation. And I've spoken quite a lot on this channel about how getting out into nature can help us with our mental health. It can distract us, get us into a different environment, help us physically by getting our bodies moving. And I've also spoken a couple of times about it connecting us with something far greater than ourselves, whatever that may mean to us. I know I always feel very supported and safe and loved when I'm in nature. But something I've not really spoken about is emotional regulation. And I think after that conversation with her, it's made me realise just how important this is and how nature can really help us with that. And as you may recall earlier in this video, I spoke about how I really like to infuse how I'm feeling in nature into my images so that when I look back at those photographs, I can remember that peace, that calm, that tranquility. But hopefully you watching this video and seeing the images through this, it will also evoke those feelings within you. But what I think is so interesting is how being out in nature can really help us with connecting with these more peaceful emotions, or often, for me anyway, it's often a sense of peace, tranquility, relaxation, or it's this sense of joy, of wonder, of excitement, of adventure. Nature can give me both of those things, and I suspect for many of you watching this as well, you've experienced very similar emotions when you've been out in nature. And there's no denying that in the modern day world, many people face many stressors, and many people feel that we live in quite a scary world. And what I hope that I can portray through my videos and photography is that amongst all of those things, there's also incredible beauty. And I really feel what nature does is it gets us out into these places to experience this beauty, this joy, this awe, this wonder, this peace, this tranquility, this relaxation. And after speaking to this lady the other day, it really, like I say, brought home this sense to me of the importance of nature connection and how it can really help us. And regardless of whether you're neurodivergent, which is what she specialises in, or whether you experience bouts of depression, anxiety, any other mental health struggles, or if you're simply going through the ups and downs of life, every single person at some point in life will experience stress. Every single person will experience grief and loss. At some point in our lives, we'll feel lonely. These are natural things for us as human beings to feel. But in those moments, we can often distract ourselves with unhealthy habits, or for many end up in this spiral where we go deeper and deeper and deeper into these negative emotions and start to worry and feel fear and all that kind of things for life. And I know in my journey that's something I've experienced many, many times. But I think it's so incredible that something like getting out into nature can help to re-regulate us regardless of what we're going through. And I especially feel that when we have something creative, like whether it's photography, whether it's writing, whether it's painting, whether it's music, that can also give us an ability to connect with nature more deeply, to tell stories through what it's telling us, to evoke our imagination. And I think it's really interesting as well that we live in a world at the moment where more and more people are getting diagnosed with things like ADHD and autism, whether it's because it's more recognised or whether it's because more people have it we don't know. But I think it's really interesting because you often find that neurodivergent people are incredibly creative, and they often have, when they are able to connect with it, a very deep and profound connection with nature that can really, really regulate them. So I wanted to share this in today's video because, as I mentioned, this is something that I weave into my photography a lot now, is infusing the emotions that I feel out here into my imagery. I just wanted to share this message because regardless of what stage you're at in life and what things you experience and how you view the world, there's so much incredible benefits that we can gain from being in nature. And something that I find really interesting being a former nurse is that around 90% of doctor's appointments, the symptoms that people go to the doctors with, stem from stress. And maybe if we can spend more time being creative in nature, we can allow ourselves to feel more of these feelings of peace, of calm, of tranquility. And if we can find an outlet like photography to deepen that connection and deepen that outlet, it just makes me ponder and wonder how much more healthy and happy many of us would be. And I know from personal experience that without nature, I don't know where I would be. I don't even think I'd still be here, to be honest. Nature regulates me, it calms me down, it brings me peace, it brings me comfort, safety, connection, gives me an outlet for my creativity and emotions, and an ability to share that with the world. Whether you want to experience more joy, more awe, more wonder, or whether you want to experience more peace, tranquility, and relaxation in your life, maybe getting out into nature can help you to do that. And if you are genuinely struggling right now, whether you are stressed, whether you're grieving, whether you're somebody that experiences depression, anxiety, you get overwhelmed a lot, maybe getting out into nature could just bring you some comfort and release and respite from that too. And when you can get up early like I have today and get out at these really quiet moments where often you have locations to yourself, or you maybe come across just one or two more people, it's such a blessing. And it certainly helps to deepen that sense of calm and relaxation.